Hi everyone, so in this video I'll be talking about the 5 ways that you can use to show home ties for your Canada study permit application. Showing home ties is extremely important. In fact, in your application you should be able to justify to or provide evidence or documents to show to the visa officers that you're going to return to your home country after the completion of your studies. In fact, if you apply for study permit and you get a refusal, they're going to say, I'm refusing your application, or I'm not satisfied that you will leave Canada based on the following factors. Okay, so that does not necessarily mean only home ties, and home ties is not specifically the only reason why your study permit is going to be denied. So I'll talk about these 5 things that you can do. You should be able to provide at least one among these 5 things that I'm going to be listing in this video. Irrespective of whether you're a fresh graduate, you should be able to do at least one. Okay, let's talk about the 5 ways that you can use to show home ties for your Canada study permit application. The first one is going to be using letter of explanation. Now, this sounds very simple, but it is actually something that is quite important. In your study permit application, while you are writing your letter of explanation, in the last part, there's going to be a place where you should state, this is what you're going to do upon return to your home country. Okay, so if you can explain that, it is already giving them an idea of the thing that is going to be taking you back. So the other 4 things that I'm going to be mentioning, you can mention them in your letter of explanation, but there are cases where you may not be able to show those other 4, but just talking about what you plan to do. For example, if you're going to do a master's, let's say master's in civil engineering in Canada, then you can explain, upon completion of my master's in civil engineering, maybe you want to do a PhD in your home country, or you want to work with the government, or you want to start up a consultancy company. These are some of the things that you explain in details. When you can do this, it's already showing the visa that you have a clear plan. There's actually something that is trying to that will take you back, upon completion of your study. So always put this at the last part of your letter of explanation. The second way that you can use to show home tie is actually employment. Okay, so if you're employed in your home country, you can actually get maybe a study leave, or a reference letter from the company to state that, when you graduate from your study in Canada, you are still going to continue working in your home country in that particular company. That is already a home tie. That is something that is actually taking you back. I mean, this may not be true for everybody. There might be cases where you actually own a business. So instead of talking about employment, you can talk about the business and say, I have a registered business in my home country. This is the business registration, and I can't just leave my business, upon completion of my study in Canada without going to continue my business. That is the reason why you should apply for something kind of relating to your business, and you say, I'm going to continue my business upon return to my home country. So definitely get that. If you own a company, put your business registration, if you have pictures about your business, you can show that. Any other document related to your business, maybe sales or some of the things that they're doing, that is also important, right? If you are employed, you can get a reference letter from your company, add your pay stub and all that. That's going to be excellent. I think the most important part, if you can get a letter to state that they are aware that you are traveling, and when you return, you're still going to continue working, that is an amazing way to show home ties. The third one is going to be finance and investment. If you have investment in your home country, in stocks, in shares, and some other things, although you can't do investment anywhere, but at least if you have an investment in your country, it shows that, well, you're really kind of tied to your country. You can say, well, upon completion of my study, I'm going to continue, come back to my country to continue to monitor my investment, especially the ones that will require you to maybe attend some meetings and some other things. Like, depends on the kind of investment. So think about what kind of investment that you have. That's why I said not everyone have investment, but at least you can't do the first one, which is a letter of explanation that I talked about. The fourth one is going to be family ties. So if you are applying a loan and you have your wife and the children back in your home country, that is a fantastic home ties. But if you're applying alongside with your family, your father, if you're applying alongside, your father, obviously, if you're applying alongside your wife, your children, everybody applying together, if you have siblings in your home country, you can also talk about that. If you have your parents still alive and they are in your home country, you can also talk about that maybe when you come back and finish your program, you need to be close to them, at least to be able to, take care of them in one way or the other. So that is also justification, okay? But like I said, not everyone will have a family member, so it is not a negativity if you don't have any family member to show. Just think about these 5 ones that I'm talking about, and just one. The last one is going to be property ownership. This is amazing. I love this particular one. So if you have a house, if you have a car, especially properties, houses, real estate and all that, this is an amazing way to show home ties. You can say, well, I have some of these properties back in my home country, and I would really love to manage some of these properties upon return from Canada back to my home country. So this is another way to justify. So if you have the document for the land purchase or the house, if you also have landed properties as well, or houses, you can use any of them, right? You can use property associated with that. You can use any pictures and all that to show that you actually have the houses. You can even take a picture over there. It's a way to justify and just really give evidence to the visa officer that, okay, this actually belongs to you. Like I said, there is no way you won't be able to say you won't be able to have at least one of these to show. If you're a fresh graduate out of university, which means you don't have properties, you don't have any investment, you're not even employed at that moment, then if you're going to study a program, what are you going to do with that program when you get back to your country? That becomes your home tie. You don't even need to show documents to that effect if you're explaining what you want to do back in your country. When I applied for mine, I just explained that, when I finish my master's, this is what exactly I'm going to do in my country, a concrete plan, okay? If you can do that, even as a fresh graduate, that is amazing, fantastic. So all of these 5 things: employment, finance, family ties, property ownership, you can actually embed some of these into the letter of explanation in order to make your case very concrete. Don't lose sleep over home ties. It is not just the primary reason why visa get denied. I've always talked about the finance is about 80% why people get visa rejection. And the second one is going to be inconsistency in your program of choice. The program that you're planning to do in Canada does not match with your background, your career plans and all that, then that is just a no for them. Any of those, I want to do a separate video to talk about some of those 2 things. So don't put yourself in a situation where you're trying and having difficulty convincing the visa officer about some of these things. So proof of home tie, is it important? Yes, but don't lose sleep over it. Focus on the proof of funds and your letter of explanation where you talk about the importance of that course, okay? And if you do that and you can add some of these other home ties as an added thing, I think you should be at an advantage. It is still not a guarantee. Even though you have 1 million houses back in your country, it's still not a guarantee. So I would say take your time, just focus on every aspect of the application and do your best application. If you can do that, you know, you don't have any other thing to do other than just to pray that your application comes out successful. So that's going to be it for this video. If you are having a bit of issue trying to put some things together for your admission or your visa application, you know, you can reach out to me. I can give you some insight on how to kind of put some things together, you know, based on the free information that is available out there. Okay, there's going to be a link in the description. You can reach out to me through my website. My contact details are also there. Reach out to me and I will be glad to help you in this your journey to Canada. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't liked this video, do it to hit that like button so whenever new videos are released, you will be the first person to get notified. And also do it to subscribe and to this channel. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.